Welcome to College Game Day here in Buffalo, New York. Big MAC showdown this week as Central Michigan takes on Buffalo as they both vie for position in the MAC standings and to try to become the first MAC team to ever make the college football playoff. Should be a good one in store here this week. But before we get to this week's contest, we must go over Chaos Week as all top three teams in the nation went down to different teams this week. And I guess we'll kick it off with that this week. Let's start with number one, because that's always the biggest upset. UVA knocks off number one Air Force in a 42-32 upset. I'm not sure. This is a game I called the overall game last week. Turned out to be a really good one, technically at Mount Everest, but since that's impractical, I'm just going to ignore that fact. Yeah, UVA started off strong here with a 28-15 first half. Air Force tried to battle back, nearly got back into the game a couple of times, but two fumbles hurt them, even with the 450 total yards. They couldn't overcome the early mistakes in the fumbles. So what are your thoughts here? Should I call you should I just call you Middle Tennessee? Yeah, what are your thoughts here?
You can just call me whatever. I don't really care.
Middle
Personally,
Tennessee. Yeah.
I don't want to say I'm not surprised, but I feel like Air Force had it coming. Game was out at Mount Everest. That's a big factor in the gameplay there. But also, I feel like Air Force has had it coming for a while. They struggled
Should have
against
lost the
Utah
Navy a week.
State. Yeah, I think they're gonna start to struggle on this back half of the season, but we'll have to see. It'll be interesting, for sure.
I mean, they gave themselves a little bit of a room for error there with how good their first half of the season resume was. But
And they
you
also
can't just
they got a little bit of a bailout because 2 and 3 also went down as well.
yeah. But yeah, they have a showdown this week against Hawaii, which one of the more disappointing teams in the Mountain West this year, because pretty much everyone thought they would win their division, but they have faltered, giving I believe it was they gave someone their first win this week. Fresno State, their first win of the year last week. But Hawaii still got a pretty good coach at the helm, so I think that'll be an interesting ball game to look at.
I mean, Hawaii's a decent team when you look at them. They're not terrible. Their offense
Yeah,
is
but
really high powered. They've struggled on defense a lot though, and that's what's holding them back as a team.
ain't that the story of the league? Struggle on defense. So yeah, we'll move on to number two. West Virginia upsets number two Oklahoma State in a 54-36 upset. This wasn't really a very high scoring game till the fourth quarter, where West Virginia's offense exploded for 26 points. Oklahoma State actually outgained West Virginia in this game, but sometimes field position battle matters sometimes. Oklahoma State couldn't capitalize on opportunities. West Virginia did, and that's led them to this upset.
Yeah, and it wasn't really a close game either. West Virginia sort of ran away with it coming towards the end there.
Yeah.
And
Oklahoma State, you kept on thinking Oklahoma State would retake the lead there until the fourth quarter, and then West Virginia just busted wide open.
I'm honestly a little surprised by that result. Oklahoma, I feel like a lot of the top teams are overrated in this league because I feel like it's such a random season this year, or this season, excuse me. But this loss, I just feel like Oklahoma State was one of the teams that would continue to be good. He'd be the Western Kentucky this year. But this loss sort of came as a shock to me, and it really shook up the playoff picture, in my opinion, because now there really isn't a clear front runners. It's just a big blob of 16 teams that are in the hunt right now.
I mean, there might be one team who takes a little offense to that, but we'll get to that.
You?
And
it's not you, is it?
No, not me. No.
Who is it?
Got
Purdue? No.
yeah.
No.
I mean, First Take predicted it back in the preseason. Is it coming true? Oh no, I'm not sure. I agree that Purdue is the number one team in the country, but we'll get there. But
He's
dude,
not
okay,
legit.
as someone who played West Virginia, this is one of the more shocking results this season. Um, I honestly can't because also for Oklahoma State, this gives them a point of comparison with Virginia Tech as a common opponent between
Shut up, Jesus
the.
Christ.
I
Fine.
mean, it's
Don't tell.
important.
Is it though?
I mean, it is if they end up being comparable at the end of the season.
West Virginia in the playoff? What?
No. Virginia Tech and Oklahoma State.
Oh, you're saying the game against West Virginia is your comparable point? I don't
Yes,
know.
that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they're comparable opponent. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, that could come into factor later down the line. So
Mhm.
that's what I was trying to say. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear.
No, I get what
But
you're
yeah,
saying. Sorry.
that's probably that surprised me as much as any of these upsets did. Up next, we'll go. This was also a pick'em game. The Duke Blue Devils finally get their big win over a top tier ACC opponent as they take down number 3 Georgia Tech, 37-35. Um, very both a very sloppy game by the offenses in an offensive shootout. Over 800 yards between the two teams, but there was a lot of turnovers in this game. Um, this game, similar to the West Virginia Oklahoma State game, was only 21-14 Duke going into the fourth quarter, but the offenses just finally started to click, but Georgia Tech's offense just couldn't keep up. So this shakes up the ACC Coastal race a big time because now you have you got 3 teams. They've all beat each other. They've all already played. All only have 1 loss, and literally no one in the Coastal controls their destiny at this point. Because if they all went out, it comes down to the computers, which I'm not sure I want that.
It's always the
So
coastal.
yeah. But what are your thoughts on Duke shaking up this ACC Coastal race?
I mean, Georgia Tech's probably one of the better teams we have in here. Duke,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Duke I feel like is like the Mississippi State of fake college football. They're good.
That's they're good, but not great.
They sometimes lose to really bad teams, but like they have that big win in them, and I think this year this was their signature win for the year. It'll be interesting to see how the coastal race shakes out because if you see 10-2 Duke has a shot at the playoffs still, and
all 3 of those top teams do. I mean, Georgia Tech, even with this loss, is still right in there.
I think
Like
Georgia Tech is still a front runner in my opinion
yeah,
because
you could.
Oklahoma State or Air Force is going to drop a game in the overtime classic, I feel like, for sure, and that's going to be 2 losses.
Well, here's the thing: Oklahoma State and Georgia Tech may be facing each other in the overtime classic. Which, oh boy, that'd be a
Actually,
doozy.
right now, Jake, I'd be playing Oklahoma State because I have a better record. That's all I'm saying. But
I thought y'all went by computers anyways, since this is for the playoffs and not by record.
oh no.
I'll let y'all decide how y'all. It's not my thing. I don't run the classic. I'm just saying, Oklahoma State Georgia Tech's probably the matchup you should have.
And Virginia is another team that can maybe make a run at the
Yeah,
coastal here.
they need some help though, because they already got absolutely wrecked by Georgia Tech already. So they're going to need more losses from them. But yeah, that loss to Louisville in double overtime is gonna might come back to bite them hard
For
later
sure.
on.
But like a
Okay.
big momentum swing with that win over Air Force, and they have I don't want to say easy schedule, but a pretty easy schedule up until the battle for the what's it called, the Commonwealth Cup, Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
Although, watch out for those Troy Trojans. You never know. But Virginia
Okay.
could easily, if they get some help from other teams, they still have a shot to win that Coastal Division pretty easily,
Yeah.
honestly, if they can win out.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So up next,
Texas State.
Jesus, my that's one way to no longer be undefeated. 1-5 New Mexico State beats down number 7 Texas State 45-10. Yeah, I don't have anything to say on this one. I'm just gonna let that score speak for itself.
You know, I've been saying it all week, all season, excuse me, and it came true this week. Very happy to finally say that Texas State is overrated and not good. And
Well, I mean,
that honestly,
this
the
is just
Sun Belt is such an interesting conference right now.
when you say interesting, I say bad. It's
Like the only clear-cut contender, like their only shot at a playoff team is Arkansas State right now. I don't think Texas
hmm.
State.
I mean, if Arkansas State or Texas State wins out, which please don't. I'm begging them not to because
I don't
please
think you
don't.
can realistically put a Texas State team in over maybe a two-loss CUSA or ACC team, but
Yeah,
that's
but I
up
don't
to
think
the
those
committee.
teams will probably be safely in the playoffs. Once you get to that bubble, I mean, a 12-1 conference champion, even with a terrible resume, is still going to have a pretty decent shot to slide it. Like, remember Liberty just last year? They win the conference championship game. They're in, even with a less than ideal resume. I mean, shoot, the number 8 seed last year, Cal was not a very strong team in my opinion, resume wise. 11-2, yes, but they didn't win their conference.
Hmm.
Didn't really have any strong wins and or not any great wins. So
The Pac-12 is also adding on to that. That's a conference that's really up for grabs.
yeah,
Like the only teams that are really out of it are Washington State, Arizona State, and Utah. Everyone else is right in the thick of that race. And if Oregon can take down UCLA this week, that opens it up even more.
but yeah, I feel like all these conferences are for a large part wide open still. Like there's only a couple of races where you're like, there's a clear one, two, three teams in the running. Like
Well, if you look at the ACC, the what's the non-coastal division called? Atlantic.
Atlantic.
The Louisville Ekstrom making a run at it right now. That's
Funny thing about the Atlantic, every team is either 4-3 or 3-4, except for Wake Forest, who's just bad. So, but yeah, in ACC play, Louisville's got a clear path to the ACC championship game because NC State can't seem to win conference games anymore.
for sure.
I so I'm gonna jump ship to some of these game day games now. Um, we'll start with Conference USA here. Number 22 North Texas uh, taking down number 11 Rice in a 21-20 game. Very back and forth contest here. One of the better games this week. Rice ended up outgaining North Texas, but as I say so many times, turnovers killed them. This time, 3 fumbles. So, as a Conference USA coach, what are your thoughts on this pivotal Conference USA West showdown?
I think it really cements the fact that the Conference USA is one of the top conferences out there because that was honestly one of the best games of the year. Two top teams in the West going at it. And honestly, as the most likely extra, or I just said extra, um, the most likely nomination for the, I'll
What do
just
you?
say the most likely conference championship participant for the East. I'm happy to see North Texas win. I almost beat them last year when I sucked. I'm pretty sure I can do it this year. But um, I think it's also interesting with that UTEP loss. The West is another division that's just really close because if North Texas takes a loss and Rice comes right back and moves into the play, it'll be interesting to see in the coming weeks, especially when we move into like the postseason, like weeks 11 and 12. A lot of these CUSA conference games are going to be absolutely pivotal to determine that division ranking.
Kind of reminds me of the East last year, where it came down to that final weekend with Charlotte, Middle Tennessee, and Western Kentucky.
Yeah, I think that's a likely scenario to happen in the West as we approach weeks 11 and 12.
Yeah. We'll move to the Big Ten now, where Minnesota decided to dive. I don't know how else you put that. For number 6, Purdue absolutely took them to town. 29-0 shutout. You don't see a lot of shutouts now in big football. Purdue held them to 163 yards, shut them out, forced 2 turnovers. Can't ask more from a defense than that. Purdue cements itself as the last undefeated team in the nation. Yes, we are only down to 1. This has been a very weird year. Lowest number at this point in fake football history. So, something fun fact there. Minnesota's chances of a playoff berth are good as dead at this point because their schedule is bad. They've already hit 2 losses, and the odds of them making a conference championship game are pretty low at this point. I'm going to assume that you weren't on the Minnesota train before this week, and you're not now.
I mean, I don't follow Minnesota enough. I think the Big Ten is not a great conference, and I think right now Purdue is their best shot of getting a team in the playoff.
I agree. I'm not sure I agree. Big Ten's been solid this year. The West is not very good. I'll give you that. The East, though, I mean, Michigan State, Penn State are all good. Michigan sneaking in there, looking solid. So I think this is the Big Ten's best shot they've had in a long time to have a playoff team. They just better hope Purdue doesn't go Iowa on them and blow it down the stretch.
It'll be interesting. Big Ten is just always a fun conference to watch. I don't think Michigan is a reliable contender, though. Just in my
I don't think so.
opinion.
Hey, well, we'll find out this week when they play Purdue.
Penn State has snuck in almost. With those, was it 5 wins in a row now? They've jumped right back into the East. They're in a decent position to win. And a team I just got a feel for is Maryland. Started out 3-0, looking like they were number 3 at a point, I believe, and now they've dropped 4 games in a row, 0-4 conference play, and that'll definitely end their playoff hopes, Big Ten hopes, and maybe bowl hopes. We'll see.
What?
Talk
All
about
right, we'll go more upsets. Kent State shaking up the MAC race, knocking off number 13 Ball State,
I'm not surprised by that.
45-34.
I played Kent State, very solid coach.
Did you beat one like 31-7?
I won 31-7, but he was like destroying me at the end. Like he was going. Once he got me figured out, he knew what he was doing. But
I just find that fun. I just find that funny that you say that when you like. I get that. Hold up. What?
I think to a certain extent, though, Kent State is still in the playoff hunt. I think with this.
Yeah. Wait.
I mean,
were we talking about Kent or Ball?
Kent. I mean both. I don't think Ball is a legitimate contender.
Oh no, Kent State's gonna shoot up into the rankings this week. I wouldn't be surprised if they were top 15.
I'm not shocked that they were getting this win.
Yeah, this is the
Especially
type. They also have that win over North Texas.
and a quality loss to the Middle Tennessee State Blue Raider football program. 5-0
I
Conference
wonder
USA
why.
right now. Yeah.
We.
But
yeah,
in that division, like let's say Buffalo takes a loss this week, Kent State moves into the front runner position there. And then also, the MAC is a solid conference this year. You cannot put them down. Like
I can, but I saw this story play out last year, and then they sucked down the stretch. So I've seen that story play out before.
the MAC is better than years past, and CMU and Ball State, Buffalo, Kent State, even Toledo are all legitimate contenders. And I feel
Wait,
like
hold up. Toledo's 2-5, fam.
no, I'm talking about for the conference, not
Okay,
Toledo
okay.
Toledo is obviously not a playoff contender. Their window was closed after Jake rigged them out of the playoffs. Number 9.
Um, mm, they weren't. They were never even number 9.
Still rigged. But Buffalo and Central Michigan, both playoff contenders right now. But if you see, I mean, this game between Central Michigan and Buffalo has pretty big implications, in my opinion, for the playoff race especially. Because if Buffalo loses, they take on like a pretty challenging rest of their season, and it's gonna be hard to bounce back like that. But we'll have to see. I mean, this game is just pivotal for the MAC. It's probably the biggest stage they've had in a long, long time. But
Last
we'll
time I
have to
can think
see.
of game day was Central Michigan. Last MAC game day was Central Michigan Toledo season 1, if I'm not mistaken. I don't. Someone can fact check me on that because I do not actually know.
It
But
could be.
it's been a like the last MAC versus MAC game. I know Akron played like Louisiana Tech on game day or something like that a few.
Well, in
But yeah,
Buffalo, they play CMU this week, Kent State next week, Akron, still a solid team. Or no,
yeah.
Toledo, excuse me. Toledo can always be a sleeper team, can get some stuff done. And then they finish it out with Ohio, who crazy win. So these next two games for Buffalo are absolutely critical. A loss probably knocks them out of the playoff race unless things happen drastically. And
I mean, we've seen it play out before.
so like these 2 weeks, Buffalo needs to get it done, focus up. Otherwise, they're gonna be in trouble. We talk about my game. That was fun.
Uh, we're not there yet. We have like 5 more games to cover first. We'll go. We'll jump back to the Conference USA though. Um, you're not very happy about this result, but Southern Miss knocks off number 14 UTEP 28-10.
Not a fan. Not a fan. Screwed me over.
UTEP held to only 211 yards by the Southern Miss defense. Uh, very uncompetitive game.
You know what's really frustrating, Jake? We could be talking
What?
about MTSU YouTube game MTSU I cannot talk. MTSU UTEP game day right now, but instead we're talking about CMU and Buffalo. And you know why, Jake? You know why? Because he blew it.
Because
He
you
lost to Southern Miss, literally the Mississippi school that no one cares about, and he lost. Unbelievable. Also, it was just a really bad game by him. I looked over, like, just absolute terrible play everywhere. Sloppy. Could not get his offense going at all.
yeah.
And with
Um
that takes away a West contender or East, yeah, what West contender. And now
they'll
you
be
have,
they'll still right in that picture.
well,
It's only one loss.
he was right up there with North Texas, but with that loss, he's down to the lower tier of the group there.
I mean, they still control their destiny. Something Rice cannot say. So
I could see North Texas dropping a game or two though. I would not be shocked. But all right, anything else?
yeah, we still as they said, it was chaos week. A Boomer's favorite coach, Wisconsin,
Wait,
blew
Wisconsin
out
won?
blew out number 15 Iowa
Oh my
31 to
God,
10.
that's
Iowa was held to 156 yards. Uh, yeah, this is normally when Wisconsin wins, it's like by 3, but yeah, this is very surprising. Iowa probably killed their playoff hopes with this loss. Although maybe I'm being a little strong with that term, it severely damages their playoff hopes. We'll put it like that. But yeah, dominant performance by Wisconsin. It's gonna drop them. That's gonna hurt their chances. It's only one conference loss, or no, Iowa. I mean, yeah, that's gonna really hurt them. They're 1-2 in conference now. Gonna need some help there to get to the title game. But they've got chances to redeem themselves.
oh my
They
God.
played they've got a game that we'll talk about later against Minnesota. They still play Purdue too, so they still have the two best teams in their division to take on.
Yeah, I mean, that's the Big Ten for you.
Yeah.
Getting blown out by the slowest coach other than App State. Embarrassing.
Yeah, that's never good. We'll head over to interconference. Well, not interconference because UMass is not in the conference. NC State finally getting back on track with a 38-14 win over number 16 UMass. NC State's defense came to play, forcing 4 turnovers, but good close game at halftime. It was tied up at 14, but NC State with a 24-0 second half took care of business and gets people talking about them again. Although that doesn't help their 1-3 record in ACC play, it does boost them in the computer. So that's always good. Get them closer to a bowl game.
For sure.
Can't hurt. Not a whole lot else to say there. UMass's playoff hopes are severely hurt. 3 loss. It's gonna be hard to see a 9-3 independent team making the playoff, but you never know.
BYU, like what happened to them? Just collapse.
They started off very poorly, but they've been bouncing back. Not too.
But unfortunately, bouncing back isn't as good. Or it's not what you need to make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, they still got a bunch of tough games left on the schedule, so they may not be making a bowl this year.
For sure. Am I 6-1?
Yes.
Oh, nice. I'm bowl eligible.
We'll jump. Yeah, we'll go to the American, where I've never seen a team's playoff hopes implode quicker than Temple's did these last 2 weeks, losing to at the time 1-win Pitt, then losing to a 2-win USF, getting beat 42-32, giving up over 500 yards of offense to USF, who's not a very offensive team. Yeah, Temple these last 2 weeks has been the epitome of the American this year. Blowing it. I mean, that okay. But yeah, this has just been bad. Like, we thought Cincinnati was going to be good. They collapsed. We thought Connecticut was going to be good. They collapsed. ECU, they fell off. Memphis, they lost this week. SMU's been disappointing. Tulane lost when they had chances. Navy's just been bad. So, what are your thoughts on this game and the conference as a whole?
Temple, just a miserable last 2 weeks. I actually believed in them. I got behind them for a little.
Yeah, because season 1 they were one of the best teams in the country. I could buy them making the playoffs then, but now, no.
Yeah, now they're just in trouble. And also, I mean, the American, it's just not a good conference. They struggle. They're almost as bad as the SEC, but right now they're just in some tough times.
And just a season ago, they had 3 teams make the playoff.
Yeah, it's an interesting turnaround. Coaching. Well, this year we've seen a lot of good coaches, like really good coaches, become absolutely terrible. And I don't know whether it's because people are improving, skill gap is lessening, or something else, but I'm not sure.
But you still see some people who have been good at the top. It might just be bad luck, and sometimes that can be the answer. Although it's a bit of an unsatisfying one.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna hop back to their pick'em game, and as we stay in the AAC, kind of overarching with Wyoming beating Memphis 42-32. They were actually down at halftime, but a 21-7 second half helped them secure the win. Wyoming becomes one of the better 4-3 teams in the country, kind of hovering around there, they could definitely make some noise down the stretch, especially with the type of teams that are in their own division that they still have to play.
Hmm.
Still have to play Utah State. They still got to play a rising San Diego State. Still got to play Boise. And yeah, they've already taken down Colorado State, but yeah, that division is. I wouldn't want to be in that division. Air Force, Boise, Utah State, Colorado State, Wyoming. No, thank you. Uh, so, what are your thoughts on that? The Mountain West as a whole, and specifically the Mountain.
Well, the Mountain West. Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you have Air Force, you got Utah State, you got Colorado State, but you know what, Jake?
What?
They're all fake. They're all pretenders. They are not real contenders in my worldview. Air Force got exposed this week at Virginia. Colorado State took a loss. Utah State, I have some faith in them. But then the West is just, I don't even know what's going on over there. You have San Diego State, you got UNLV, probably UNLV pulling out the conference there. Hawaii, the fact that Hawaii is 3-4 and is in number 3 in that division is interesting. And then,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Mountain as a whole is a better division, and it's
Yeah.
still honestly up for grabs here because, like Wyoming, they're on a win streak right now. Colorado State still in it. Air Force suffering their first loss shows vulnerability, but their conference schedule, if we head over here, Air Force will play Hawaii and Nevada, Boise State, and Colorado State, and that is their only remaining Mountain West games. Boise State is always an upset contender. Colorado State, that'll be a big game. Not sure how I feel about Colorado State though as a team. They may be ranked high, but I'm not exactly sure how I feel about them. And then Hawaii in week 8 next week, or this week, excuse me. Hawaii is, in the words of Tulsi Gabbard, wait, never mind.
Wait,
But
what?
I forgot what I was saying. But Hawaii has the potential to pull off an upset there. A lot of their games have been close, and they're a better team than their record shows. And I think the trend of upsets could continue, especially Air Force coming off a loss at Virginia. Hawaii can try to capitalize on them feeling a little down in the dumps.
Yeah.
And then Army Week 9 will be a tough game for them.
Yeah. Speaking of the Mountain West, UNLV getting a nice win here over 25th ranked Louisville in a 35-21 game. Comfortable win. We'll ignore the fact their coach got banned this week, but
Wait, who got banned?
Jazzy, remember?
Oh, she was UNLV.
Yeah,
Oh, yikes.
yeah.
Wait,
We'll
what'd she get
ignore
banned
that.
for again?
The sim. I don't remember the exact wordage, and I don't want to mess it up, so I just go refer to the announcement made a while ago, the press
Oh,
release. But it pretty much her being her,
gotcha.
which yeah,
Oh, our
but it
volleyball
was a
team.
combination of a lot of things.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
put it like
Who's taking over UNLV? Do we know?
we know Keo's subbing for the week.
Oh, we
We
don't
don't
know.
we don't have a permanent
None
coach
of the new
yet.
signups won UNLV.
No, we just didn't. We're not going to offer new signups FBS teams off the bat because we want to make sure they're quick enough that they can actually finish games. We want to make sure they'll stick around.
For sure. I think
Um,
a lot of the people will. Sorry, off topic. Moving on.
yeah, we only got one more game to talk about before we get anywhere off topic. One of the key teams involved here, Central Michigan, number 24, takes down Western Michigan, who had been pretty solid so far, 40-14. Normally these games are close between these two teams, so this might be showing a new face of Central Michigan now. Might be a different team than the last 2 years. What do you think? You think this is more still the same old team, or you think something's changed in this program?
I mean, Central Michigan has always just been your average run of the mill team. This season, I feel like they've really stepped up They've inserted themselves into the playoff conversation right now. And this win over Buffalo, if they can pull it off, is going to cement them as a contender. And it'll probably secure the MAC West. Because 4-1, it gives them a big advantage over Ball State and Toledo. And I'm pretty sure Central Michigan has the legs to make a playoff run if they can keep things going the way they've been going.
Yeah, just hope they don't pull a Toledo and lose the lowly Toledo team in Week 12. I mean, shoot, three of their final games, three of their final 4 games, which is so not this week, are against teams that are worse than 100th in the nation. So, with one exception being Notre Dame, which not an easy task there. So, Buffalo definitely, they just got to keep winning, take care of business, and they will have a pretty decent shot at the college football playoff. But yeah, want to talk about some big things going down in the past few days. As we have D2 now. Hello, D2 people. If y'all are here, I'm not looking at the chat right now, but D2 people, we say hello. We hope you figure it out. If you have any questions, ask them. Because
don't ask Jake.
I don't listen to him. I've been here since the beginning. I know what's going on. I'm not saying you don't, Middle Tennessee.
I'm a better coach though.
We have the same record.
But you playing well, never mind. I helped some of you guys out. A lot of them seem really interested in.
That's good.
But I mean, we'll have some inevitable leavers, unfortunately.
Yeah, it comes with time, and just people figuring out they're not a huge fan. Yeah, but that doesn't mean one team. That's like implying that Wake Forest is better than Texas State because one plays in the ACC, one plays in the Sun Belt. That'd be dumb.
Yeah.
even you can agree with that.
Yeah, I can, but we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, D2. I'm gonna let you say what their game day is because I know you.
Oh, D2.
Know it.
It's gonna be Valdosta State taking on Edinburgh, and we are traveling to Valdosta, Georgia. And it's gonna be the 0-0 Valdosta State taking on the 0-0. The 0-0 Edinburgh, and it has big implications for the D2 playoff because whoever
the D2.
wins.
Wait. There's a D2 playoff.
Mhm.
I didn't hear about this.
I'm pretty sure. I liked the group stage idea, but everyone else thought it was too
Isn't
complicated.
Well, I don't like no soccer playoffs for football. I mean, don't they have a regional system in D2 anyways?
I don't think they have enough coaches right now. Yeah, but D2,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see some of the new coaches, how they perform. And, yeah. Big game.
If we have open spots in FBS, we'd love to see some of y'all want to jump up.
It'd also be interesting to see if the community that the FCS has is established in D2.
Yeah. I mean, Bama. I mean, can you be a slower coach than say Appalachian State? Is that actually possible?
I played him my first week ever. That was rough.
You played App State. Oh God. Hey, didn't you get your game done in like a day, VFB anyway? So wait, is Liberty different? I thought Liberty's been the same the whole time.
Are we moving on to current games now?
Nah.
Yes. We can talk about my game. That was pretty crazy. But if the D2 establishes the community
you can talk about it.
that the FCS has, that'd be pretty cool. We still need some FCS coaches though. All right, I can talk about my game.
Yeah, I don't care.
So MTSU took on Old Dominion, conference
ODU through the
rival.
game.
And it was a rough game for me. I had some sloppy turnovers. We got down to the end. Old Dominion, 8 seconds left on the clock. He's attempting a 50-yarder, I think. Got
And
about
he
a
misses it.
386 range. So he calls timeout, I believe.
Yeah, for the field goal, which ODU
So
mismanaged this
he
game
cha-
on
he ch-
17 different levels.
he chose not to run out the clock. He did kick it, and the kick was wide by about, if we converted it to regular football, maybe like an inch or two.
And then I'll let you
And
talk
then
about it, because this upsets me.
so as he missed the kick, so I get the ball at my 36, 34,
Yeah, sounds right. That sounds right.
and it's my last play. I didn't want to do anything too stupid, so I just
You
called pass one. I didn't want to kneel either. I was considering kneeling, but I
hold
did
on,
not.
hold on. Why would calling pass one be a smart? But I mean, it worked. I still think it's a terrible play call, but it worked. So what am I to say? Also
So
calling,
pass one, right? I'm just sort of hanging
yeah.
out. I'm getting prepared for overtime, and then I see this notification on my phone. It says MTSU lines up in the gun with 3
And you're
wideouts,
like, and you're
and
like,
then
oh,
if you play FCFB for a while, you just know
that's
that
a
that's a touchdown.
touchdown.
And I sort of freaked out there. It's a fun game. I went on a last second 60-yard Hail Mary, and I survive in advance, and then I let him block the PAT and run it back for his margin of victory to be nice. And then yeah,
Oh, also, it's the Fighting Scots was the nickname, not whatever you said. Fighting Scots.
for who?
Um, is it Eden? I'm gonna let you say it. The
Edinburgh.
E team.
I didn't say
Yeah,
I didn't say they I didn't say they had a mascot. I just said Edinburgh.
you didn't know it, but they're the Fighting
All
Scots.
right, the fighting Scots taking on the Valdosta State.
Help, help.
I think
We
it's
don't
like
know
I
DT.
think it's like Gamecocks. Hold on.
Uh, hold up. I gotta look this up.
It is I got it. The Valdosta State Blazers.
Nice, nice.
Oh, they have
Um,
they have 4 national titles. Nice. Blazers, yes, that's their team. The Valdosta State Blazers.
all right. We're gonna have a live eliminator. No, I'm not gonna do that to you.
I mean, I could do it. I just did. I had a general idea. I just don't want to write everything out right now.
I know that. I know that feeling. Sometimes I'm like, do I really want to do these power
It,
rankings?
I'll do it.
No.
I'll take a 2 week break. Come back next week, better than ever.
That's a high bar you're setting there. Better than ever. I would expect 1 page write ups per every team. No. So okay, I do want you to talk about, because you were talking about this. You say there's a lot of pretenders. Who are your and who do you think are your main who are your main like pretenders, and who are your actual contenders?
My main number one pretender has to be Texas State. They got exposed this week, and while they still may be in the playoff race, I don't think they are in a playoff race at all.
Yeah. Like they're in it, but you
They're
doubt that
sort
they
of they're
actually
sort of
can
like
do what it
Oregon
takes.
right now. Like they're in it, but they're not really in it. And then another pretender, I hate to do it, but Rice. I don't think he has it in him to be a playoff team. Good thing he's
Is
not
Rice
here.
in here?
And UCLA. I have my doubts. If he wins big against Oregon, then
I mean, they.
I'll settle him down. But right now I'm a little unsure about UCLA. Virginia Tech, I think, is a pretender. I do
Oh, of
not.
course you would say that with
No,
me in
I'm
here.
joking. I'm joking. You're fine. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech. I don't know how I feel about them right now. At all, actually. I mean, that 5-2 record does not look great on a playoff resume.
When are we gonna have a four-loss team make the playoffs? No, no, we're not even gonna entertain that idea.
Penn State, I think, is legit. Air Force,
Yeah,
I have my doubts. We'll see.
you don't know yet. Yeah, you're a wait and see, which is kind of cheating, but I'll allow it because I kind of feel the same way.
And then, for me, some dark horse teams that are still around, I think Arkansas State. I think, what was I going to say? I think Texas. Texas is a people. Texas and Oklahoma State is going to be really interesting. If Texas, I don't know how I feel, but and then Oregon, I think, is still in it. Those were close games. Like he could easily be 7-0 right now, but those are two bad losses. But he bounced back, nice win over Washington, and this win against UCLA will bring him back into that picture if he can pick it up. Then also, Middle Tennessee, solid shape right now. I don't really think he has it in him to make a playoff run, but we'll see. And
I see
then
you've gone to the Iowa State School of doubting yourself.
Buffalo, Buffalo and Central Michigan. We'll see. I don't know how I feel about either of them. And then also, I think Michigan State is also still in it, but that's my early. If I had to pick top 8 right now, number 1 is gonna have to be Oklahoma State. Number 2,
They just lost. You're really gonna pick the number one? They just lost to West Virginia.
well, yeah, everyone lost. Number 2, gonna have to be dark horse here. I'm gonna take Texas as my number 2 team.
Wait? Okay, is this for right now or what you're
No, this is
projecting
for my.
out?
I'm projecting this. I'm saying
Okay,
Texas number 2.
okay. That's
I
fair.
think
Okay, continue.
he's being overshadowed by Oklahoma State. They're in the same division. It's a solid team. Number
Well,
3,
they
I'm
don't
gonna have
have
to go with
divisions.
Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech,
Oh God, don't do that to me. I know your game
they're
plan
on
is. Do not
fire.
curse me.
Number 4, it's gonna be the winner of this Buffalo Central Michigan game.
Wow.
I'm not sure who it's gonna be.
Implying that a MAC team doesn't choke.
I think they can pull it off. Number 5 is gonna either be Air Force or Utah State. I'm not sure, and both of them will not be getting in. It's gonna be
Yeah,
one of them.
I could see Mount West is one of the strong contenders this year to have two teams from the same conference
I
on
don't
it.
know how I feel about that. Number
I
6.
mean,
Wait, did I skip number 5?
no, yeah, you know you didn't.
Number 6 is gonna be. I think logistically here, I think it's gonna be Middle Tennessee. I don't think I can do it, but I mean right now. Number 7, dark horse team. I'm gonna go Penn State sneaks in at number 7 with the big
Okay,
team.
I respect that choice. I
And
like
then
it.
number 8, I'm gonna go Purdue. I think Penn State beats Purdue in the championship, and they still get in, and they get 2 teams in. And then on the outside
Now,
looking in, it's gonna be the winner of Oregon and UCLA at number 9. And then at number 10, we're going to have either Utah State, Colorado State, or maybe Arkansas. We'll see. Right now, the
oh,
field has really been narrowed down just to the 2 lost teams, I think.
three loss teams. No, there's a few three loss teams who I could see like if they ran the table making the playoff. Like first, like I doubt that any of them can do it. But like if Virginia ran the table, that I could see them making the playoff. If like Wyoming ran the table, I could see them making the playoff.
I don't see that
Um,
realistically because,
I don't. I'm not saying I don't think they can do it. I'm just saying if they did do it, there's a difference.
Purdue, I think, will start to be exposed in the coming weeks as I don't know. I
I
just
feel like we said that for like 3 weeks though. Like you keep saying it long enough, it's gonna probably be true.
Purdue plays Michigan this week. Never mind. They have such an easy schedule. That's awkward. Purdue could finish 12-0, but I still think they're overrated. But I think he will sneak in the playoff. I think think he's honestly a lock at this point, unless
Who?
he completely collapses. Purdue.
Who? But you at the same time, when you have that type of easy schedule, which, as you say, makes them feel like a lock, that does give you less room for error than if you have a one like a top tier strength of
For
schedule.
sure.
Like I'm just saying, like season two Pitt, for
Well, I
example.
think he finishes out at least 11-1, and then I think he definitely he loses in the championship to Penn State, and then I think there's a very strong case for the Big Ten to have two teams in the playoff this year.
Well, yeah, the Big Ten would be happy just to get a team in the playoff for the first time. They'll take anything they can get.
All right, you wanna do some this week stuff?
Okay.
Pick 'em games. Start
Okay?
it off.
Question. Do you know what the pick'em games are before I ask this next question?
I know most of them. I'm pull it up real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna actually. We don't even need to know that right this second. What is your upset pick of the week?
Upset pick of the week: Hawaii is gonna beat Air Force. I'm
I
actually
don't appreciate.
I'm actually 1 for 2 on my upset picks. I did pick FAU beating, oh, I forget who it was, but they beat them. And
UMass.
yeah,
Was it
UMass
UMass?
that I was looking for. And then Hawaii, I've been following their career with interest, and I think he has a shot to pick up a win. And also, I could see Oregon taking down UCLA for sure. I think Oregon is being slept on in the current college football
Huh.
landscape.
Well, that okay. That's a pick'em game. We'll get to that. But
But that'd
you
still
know,
be an
I
upset technically.
yeah, but you're not. You save those for the pick. Anyways. Um, I was gonna go into detail about my pick, but since you already took my pick, I'm gonna just reiterate that I agree that I think Hawaii is gonna be Air Force. Which no, I have that written down already. I didn't steal it,
Wow.
but yeah, I agree. I don't 100% buy Air Force. I still probably have some bias towards Hawaii. I still think they're good. Air Force after a loss, I could see them slumping. With the leadership they have at the helm, I could definitely see them having a slump after this first loss.
For sure.
Um, but yeah, I have to agree with you there. Next up, this is why I need you to know the over for
Yeah,
need
I
you
got
to
the
know the
pick 'em.
pick'em games.
Wait, can I make one more upset pick? I have one.
Okay, yeah, yes, Rice, and yes, you can go ahead, Middle Tennessee.
I also think. Wait, I just had it in my head. Where'd it go? Oh, I gotta find it. 1 sec. Oh yeah, I think Clemson is going to take down Virginia Tech. Historical
Oh,
matchup there. Oh,
I,
I mean,
I,
oh, and also I would not be shocked to see Wake
it's your about to
Forest
say issue.
Wake Forest take down NC State. NC State very weak in conference. Wake Forest punch them in the gut. All right, we can go to the other games now.
Okay, overlooked game now. I'll go first this time. Game that's not on the pick'em, but it's gonna be a good matchup. I'm gonna go to the Mountain West here. Um, two teams. They're both 4-3. They're both pretty high in the composite. Gonna go Wyoming, San Diego State. San Diego State's been sneaking up lately. Took down Colorado State in overtime last week. Wyoming taking down Memphis. So two teams with some momentum here. I don't exactly have a pick for this game, but I think it's gonna be a really good one. Either
My
way.
overlook game for the week is gonna have to be the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers taking on the Old Dominion Monarchs. Solid CUSA veterans taking on each other. They both are pretty much out of playoff contention at this point, but it's just
They're out
good
of
old
division. They're
fashioned
pretty much out of
rivalry.
division contention at
And then
this point.
also, don't be shocked if Utah, oh wait, excuse me, California and Washington could be a better game than people expect.
I can see. Yeah, I can see
And
that.
Oregon
Okay,
State, Washington State, another potential close game in the Pac-12 there.
okay.
All right.
And now we're gonna go to the pick'em. Okay, hold up. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna go. We're gonna start here in the Big Ten. Where I'm not talking about Rice UAB. No.
I'll talk about it real quick. UAB is just absolutely awful. They're terrible. Rice, if Rice loses this, he should quit, retire, never play again. I mean, I played him. Wait, no, I didn't play him. Did I play him? I feel
I
like I
don't
did.
know. I don't have, as much as you may think I do, I don't have every team's schedule history memorized.
Let me look. Oh no, I didn't play him. I thought I did. Yeah, but that was just a terrible game.
Yeah,
UAB.
but overlooked games are supposed
UAB
to
is
be not.
absolutely awful. That's not an overlooked
They
game.
were solid
That's a
season
game.
one
That's
and
a game
two.
no one should look at ever. Just disgusting. But hopefully
You should
Rice
only
pulls
look
them
at it if
out.
Rice has somehow decided not to show up to play. UTSA solid. Pick one.
I mean, UAB is not terrible, but they're bad.
I mean,
All right, current games. No one cares about UAB.
okay,
Let's be real.
okay. Big Ten. Got a couple teams reeling off of upsets here. Not the good type. Well, actually, no. I take that back. Minnesota just got their asses handed to them by Purdue. Minnesota at Iowa. Should be a interesting matchup. Losers out of the playoff race. That's pretty much. I can almost guarantee that. Should I mean both coming off of losses. Someone has to win that game.
Gotta see.
But yeah, it's
Gotta
gonna
see.
be at 7 p.m. on FSPN2. So primetime matchup. Getting in the colder months of the year. But I think this will be a high scoring affair. Both these teams have really good offenses most of the time. I'm gonna take Iowa in this game, 49 to
It's a good pick.
38.
Good pick. I have to agree there. Iowa is a scary team in November in real life and in fake college football. And Minnesota coming off a blowout loss to Purdue. Excuse me. um, yeah, I think I was able to rein it in, get things back on track for the Hawkeyes, and move on with a pretty convincing win. I'd say 31 to 10.
So yeah, our all-time Elo thinks Iowa's favored in this game, while season 3 Elo actually thinks Minnesota is the favorite in this contest. So we'll see which.
I'd say that's got to be a 50-50 toss-up game right there. Both decent teams in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and the voters agree. Only 52% of people are picking Iowa, with the other 48 picking Minnesota. So yeah, very 50-50 game. Next up, we head to the MAC as Ohio takes on Kent State on the road. It's going to be a 3:30 kickoff on FSPN Plus. I think this is a pivotal game here. Kent State, big momentum win last week after knocking off Ball State. Ohio, saw under the radar team here at 5-2. So I think they want to go out and make a statement too. Both teams have a lot to play for here. Conference USA standings, even here in the same division. Kent State gets to win. They move to 4-0 in conference. Ohio's pretty much done in conference to contention. If Ohio wins, they vault themselves back into the MAC East contention. I've got to say I like Kent State in a low scoring 23-13 game.
Ooh, good pick, good pick. But you got one pivotal thing wrong. Don't sleep on the Ohio Wildcats. They're gonna take an upset pick there, 17 to 10. Kent State offense struggles to. Oh, Bobcats. Excuse me. Wildcats,
Okay,
Bobcats,
I'm not.
similar. But I think they pull it off and they reposition themselves in the MAC. I like Kent State, solid coach, but I think it's a what's it called? Sleeper game? I don't know. It's a game where he's looking ahead to that big matchup against trap game. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And I think he gets caught looking ahead and is gonna take a loss to Ohio here.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Okay, next up on the agenda, we go to the Pac-12.
Oh yeah.
Oregon taking on the UCLA Bruins in a cross-divisional showdown. Both teams trying to keep UCLA looking to keep their momentum going. Oregon probably looking to keep their playoff hopes alive. So yeah, I think this is going to be a close. I had a hard time. This is one of the games I had a hard time. I kept on going back and forth this week on, but I don't think it's going to be like a shootout or anything. But I think there'll be a good amount of points scored here. Nothing too crazy though. I ended up landing on UCLA taking this one home in
Good pick.
about a one-score game, like a 27-20 game, something like that.
I like it. I'm gonna have to disagree with you there, though. I think I think Oregon is gonna take this one in a larger scoring game than expected. I'd say final score 49-35. Oregon gets the win.
Ooh,
You know, I
ooh,
think
all
I
right.
think Oregon is grossly underrated right now because of those two very close losses to Stanford and Wyoming. And Wyoming's solid team now. Stanford on the up and up. And those were very close games. Like it was like 24 to 21 and 31-28. They came down final 3 minutes. Oregon couldn't finish it out. And I think if Oregon cleans up his play, then he picks up a big win there. And honestly, gets himself back into the national conversation after being slept on for a while. But we'll see. It's going to be a big game.
Oh, okay. I forgot to mention with the last game. Both both Elos think Kent State's the favorite here, and 74% of our users picked Kent State to win that game. So definitely people think Kent State's definitely the favorite there. And in this game, both Elos favor UCLA, which does make a lot of sense. I'm just using it for predictions, not for anything of actual value, aka committee stuff. And it's because I have the tools. I'm going to use them. This rock, I don't even know how you make predictions with rock. Like, Bryce, you're gonna have to make that for me because
Just
I'm
tell
not
us,
building that on
talk
my
about
own.
the ELO for this game.
Well, UCLA for the first time since week 12 of last year, we have a new team at number one in ELO because Western Kentucky had dominated that for a long time. So yeah, UCLA is now the new number one team in all time ELO. It's a very low ELO though at 1634, which is the lowest a leader has been since. It's been a while since the priest. No, it has been. Hold up, it's been a long time. I'll just put it like that.
I gotcha.
Hold up, I'm the lowest it's been since week 8 of season 1 for the leader. That's been a
Mm.
while. So, but that tells you this field is very, according to the ELO, a very diverse field.
What is the
Um,
projected score for that game?
uh, okay, ELO doesn't exactly do over
Not
unders.
score,
I
excuse me. Like prediction. You know.
like the line for the game. I see what you're saying. Is that what you mean, like the line on it?
No,
Um,
I'm saying like who's gonna win. That's what I meant. Sorry.
yeah, it has UCLA winning. 1.5 point spread though for the Bruins. So yeah, and in the Minnesota game, Iowa is favored by about a point. So yeah.
Yeah.
Also, they're very split here. Users picked Oregon with 52% of the picks.
Interesting.
So very evenly split. Next game I will not let you pick, but I'll let you talk about because you're in it.
Oh wait, I am.
UTEP versus Middle Tennessee.
Little old me. I think we should bring on Rice as a guest picker for this game.
Rice, do you want to talk?
Talk talk.
Like, yes, talk. Like, make an actual prediction.
Just like
Talk.
voice.
Like what me and Middle Tennessee are doing. Okay.
I'd like to start off by talking about my game real quick. I'm 6-1, coming off my loss to the Curse of Tulane. Probably will never beat him, but UTEP coming off a loss to Southern Miss. It's a trap game for me, to be honest. This a win will put me basically in a locked position for the CUSA East nomination, and
Why do you call it nomination? That's
I don't know,
so weird.
bid
I'm sorry.
like the RNC and the DNC. But I'm a little concerned because I don't what and he beat Western Kentucky, and I will never be able to beat him. I've penciled off Week 12 as a loss, so I have 2 games to clinch my berth here. This game is won. Then I take on FAU, who hates me, I'm pretty sure, because I said he was bad once. But, yeah, trap games, I need a win, and I need an FAU loss. But, look on the bright side. It's going to be a great game. It's at Johnny Stadium, and hopefully pick up a win. Also, side note, I have not won a coin toss in like the past 6 games.
Wow, that's...
Yeah.
Okay, so I will talk. I'll go now.
I got a water real quick. I'll be right back.
Alright, I'll wait to make my actual pick. But pivotal showdown here in Conference USA. I think it's gonna be a really good game. That I was saying the last one I had a hard time on. This one, like these last 3 games, were difficult to make picks on. I know Marshall said it earlier, not here, but it's been saying in the chat. This might be the hardest 6 games that I've had to pick all season. Which week? Wait. What's wrong, Rice? Which way do you think? Which way? Then yeah, I don't. The coach with a V. Yeah. El Professor. El Professor. I just call Middle Tennessee. That's easier. Traitor. Anyways.
Alright, I'm back. Hello?
Hello.
Did you guys make picks?
No, I have not.
So what's up? What are we doing here?
We're talking about your game still.
Oh, well, it's silent.
Oh, is it? I can hear Rice. My thing's showing up. I can hear you, so.
Oh, I can't hear Rice. Is he talking? Is Rice talking right now?
Yes, he is. You might need to turn your volume up on him.
No, it says he's muted for me. Hold on.
Now he's muted.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you?
I still can't hear him. It's alright, just translate.
He thinks you're gonna win because you've played better teams, pretty much.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully. What about you, Jake?
Okay, me. I'm gonna get. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bryce, you have had your moment. Honestly, Bryce, you're kind of mumbling. I'm not your microphone or you, but it's mumbly. I think it might be the mic. It sounds more like the microphone, to be honest. Okay, now it's better. But yeah. Where do you lock sheet. That oh hold up.
Why did his voice go so high quality? Jake, what happened? Okay. Well, since Jake's gone, I'm gonna talk about my game, which we already talked about. Yep, but UTEP, solid team. I haven't really scouted him much. Scouting is for nerds, but we'll see. Big game. If I win, I'm in prime position to take home the CUSA East title. 70% chance to win. We'll have to see how the pick'em favors.
Okay, can y'all hear me now?
And Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. Thank you.
Wait. Okay. I had to change microphones. My other headphones died, so I had to change real quick. Yeah, it's fine. We're good.
All right, Jake, what's your pick?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna talk about. Okay. Middle Tennessee. Yeah. These last 4 games raise major red flags about this football team. 4-point win over a weaker Old Dominion team. A 4-point win over a weaker UTSA squad. A 4-point win over Charlotte.
All right, Charlotte was garbage time. I was up by like 30. Come on.
Yeah, but you let them back into the game. But yeah, I mean, but they do have the blowout win against Kent State. Blew out FIU, who's been on the rise. Although that game was also closer than it should have been. UTEP coming off a loss. But hey, when they win, they blow out opponents for the most part. Middle Tennessee does have the better resume. It's kind of a resume versus game control type thing here. I'm going to take the upset. I'm going to take UTEP 28-21.
That's cool.
Hey, it's nothing against you. I had a hard time with this game.
What does the pick'em believe?
The pick'em believes in Middle Tennessee State 61-39.
Mm-hmm.
What? And the Elo's also like Middle Tennessee by only
see.
40. They only a 40 or 51% chance versus UTEP's 49% chance. Is Western Kentucky elite? They lost UTEP by 10. Man, 3 and 4 teams are ultra elite. I wonder what the teams that are actually like 5, 6, 7 win teams are.
We'll see. I mean, I don't feel great about it. All right, it's time to bring on Central Michigan.
No, we have one more. Colorado State, Utah State.
Oh, no one cares about that. Utah State's gonna blow them out. Come on, Jake.
Hey, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Colorado State's a solid team. Colorado State's beat some good teams. Well, I take that somewhat back, but because Cincinnati fell off a damn cliff. But I don't think they're going to get killed. Now, I do think Utah State wins and pretty much ends Colorado State's hopes of anything relevant. But I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a shootout. That's the one thing I know for sure. It's going to be 42-34 Utah State. Middle Tennessee, I think I kind of know what you're about to say, but I'll let you say it.
Oh, yeah. Complete domination by Utah State. 20 to 60. It's gonna be absolute blowout.
I mean, once again, the Elos do say Utah State's gonna win, so it's always interesting. 77% of people picked Utah State in this game, which is the biggest margin, I believe, of any of these games. Yeah, it is. That's the most confident people feel about any of these games. So people agree with that blowout assessment, it seems like. Although we've seen strong favorites and pick'ems lose before, so we'll see. On to our game day game here. Central Michigan versus Buffalo here on 3:30 kickoff on FSPN Plus. I don't know how it ended up not on a network, but I don't control the TV schedule.
Bringing him in for an interview, right? He's on set. Central Michigan's head coach. Here
yes,
he is.
Central Michigan, you should talk.
Say hi. Or don't.
I'll give him a second.
Oh, his makeup isn't done with him yet. Let me talk about this game. Big Mac implications. Winner.
Wait, there's food on the line? There's a Big Mac on the line?
Big the Mac is out there. It's up for grabs this game. It's also a playoff elimination game for Central Michigan.
Oh, that's harsh, but but continue.
He has run off the set. Yep. Playoff elimination game for Central Michigan here. Losing, they're out. Buffalo, if they lose, they're still mildly in it, like some buffalo sauce. See what I did there? But they just don't have a great shot right
now.
No,
we didn't say they were knocked out. We said they were effectively out. Like a 12-1 conference champ is gonna have a case to make. And also, as chairman, I'm not gonna say I'm going to be very lenient when saying people are quote unquote eliminated, because I don't think I should be making those type of bold claims. It's not smart, especially since I can't see into the future. Very bad idea.
Well, it's situational morality here when we look at Texas.
Oh, Jesus, it sounds like a class I'm in right now. Jesus,
so we look at Texas State, who has loss, but is just bad, and they're just not good. They're eliminated. But then you look at Central Michigan, 2-loss team. They're still in it. And
yeah, but
here he comes.
But still,
Central Michigan, say hi.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep. Yes, we can certainly hear you.
Okay.
Okay, so first question. you're on a nice string of wins here. What's been the key to this consistency lately after your 2-2 start to the season?
Well, we've found out how to run the ball, finally, and we've quit having turnovers. And it helps that we played a couple 3-4 defenses, so I don't have to worry about.
Oh, we have lost connection. If you're trying to talk, we cannot hear you. We have technical difficulties. He has left. Oh.
All right, how about now? Is that good again?
Okay, we can hear you again. Okay, continue where you left off.
Okay, what was the last thing you guys heard from me?
You found out how to run the
Fumbles,
ball.
no fumble, or 3-4 defenses. You played 3-4 defenses.
Yeah, so that helped the last couple games, and then I got was somewhat lucky against Akron, considering we played them pretty well. They're a good team. And a big thing that we're worried about here is that Buffalo is another option team, and haven't been very good against those in the past. Looking at Ball State, they're an option team. They run me to death, and especially last season, had a lot of trouble stopping the run against them. So hopefully we can change that up this time.
Next question. So how have you been preparing your team for this trip up to Buffalo this week? Take on a good opponent, a 6-1 team, matter of fact.
Well, again, yeah, just like similar to our game against Akron, they're also a good team, run a similar offense and defense to Buffalo, so same division. So it's hopefully we can get similar to that, control the clock, give them less of an opportunity, make sure to get out to an early lead. Use that to our advantage since option always takes up a lot more of the clock.
Any concerns about Buffalo?
Well, the last time Central Michigan and Buffalo played was the head coach's first game, so we were able to take advantages back then of things that might not have been known. We don't have that advantage this time, and it seems that they've learned a thing or two. So
as Buffalo has one of the best offenses and defenses in the country, would you feel more confident if this game ended up being a defensive fist fight or an offensive shootout? Which would you feel more comfortable in the game becoming?
Probably a defensive slugfest, because as it's always possible here to just get a long TD, just seems to happen sometimes, or if it's an offensive shootout, it's a lot less likely that you're going to be able to get a turnover that makes the difference, I think.
You got any more questions, Middle Tennessee?
If you had to pick if you had to pick a MAC champion right now, who's it gonna be?
Other than yourself.
Well, despite their loss to Kent State this past week, I gotta go with Ball State since they have a tiebreaker over me right now. And all they just need to do is keep winning, where I have to rely on someone else to beat them in order to get into the championship game.
I like it. Good pick.
All right.
Do you think you still have a solid playoff shot right now?
Well, I gotta say, I think that despite what Jake was saying earlier about how I had to play, like, 4 of my last opponents, 3 of them are in the bottom or below 100. Well, those 3 teams also have new coaches, so it might not be as easy as you think.
All right, I think that's going to be all the questions that we have.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for your time.
Good luck this week.
I know, Rince asked me a question too. I think
Okay,
I
I'll
should
let.
answer that.
All right.
I'd have to say cheese and crackers.
Do you have a
All right,
favorite
healthy
color?
snack. All right. Can respect that. Thank you for your time.
Favorite color? Hey, Jake, what is your
Okay.
favorite color? Do you have a favorite color?
They're both equal.
All right.
Wait.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you for your time.
Alright, thank you. Good luck.
All right. I'm gonna let you go first on this one, Middle Tennessee, on your pick for this game.
Alright, I'm gonna don. Wait, no. I get my bobblehead. I'm putting
Yes.
on. I'm gonna have to put on the Central Michigan Chippewa. What is the Chippewa? I don't even know. I'm gonna put on the Chippewa bobblehead.
And the crowd boos. Boo.
God, it's made of. Oh no, oh no. I put on their bobblehead. Okay.
Not so fast, my friend.
I wonder what would happen if they went to game day. Okay, I'm sorry.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh.
Now, while Buffalo may have been playing some less than ideal competition, they have been dominating their opponents ever since their Week 1 loss to East Carolina. Beat Miami of Ohio by nearly 60. Took care of business against Syracuse. Blew out BYU. Took care of business against Eastern Michigan. This team has been on a roll. And it's here in Buffalo, New York. Home field advantage. Central Michigan, also a good team, taking down Akron and West Virginia 2 of the last 3 weeks. Yeah, they've lost to Ball State, lost to Alabama. Alabama game that you just got really unlucky, I think. But give me that Central Michigan helmet. SEMO is going to win this 31-24 final.